Hello, everybody. We meet again in another episode of How to Talk to Anyone. 92 little tricks for big success in relationships. Don't mind my background, I'm just stress testing my PC since I've just cleaned it and changed the thermal paste on the CPU, so I need to test it so that I know that it is fine. We're not going to talk about that today. So yesterday I got a comment from Alio Dasavic from How to Talk to Anyone Part 3. So this person asked me, "Hey, I fail to understand this portion. What does the author mean by not smiling instantly, but after 1 second or soaking the other person's facial expressions, etc.? Like, how long should I wait?" Okay, um, like everyone has their own point of view, right? So I actually reread it, and by my understanding of it, it's like, mm, when someone is talking to us about something they are excited about, right? So it's like, don't smile. Like, the moment that person start to talk, you don't just go smile, or the person just you just met that person just approached you. You don't just instantly go, yay, you don't go that way. Why? Because in my own understanding, that would be like, that sounds like you are a bit desperate. You're desperate for that attention, for that love, and that shows your weakness. That's my understanding of it. So it's like, you have to wait just a bit, until that person starts to talk, just a bit, and then you start slowly smiling. Get it? I hope you get what I'm saying, but I think that's my personal opinion about it. I hope that helps you, right? So, yes, that is the flooding smile. Don't flash an immediate smile when you greet someone, as though anyone who walked into your line of sight would be the beneficiary. Instead, look at the other person's face for a second, pause, soak in their persona, then let a big, warm, responsive smile flood over your face and overflow into your eyes, like, slowly. It will engulf the recipient like a warm wave. The split-second delay convinces people your flooding smile is genuine and only for them. So if you like immediately start smiling when you are greeting the person, it's like, yeah, as I said, showing your weakness, and it looks like you're desperate for that attention, you know. So it's like, and it's to show that your smile is genuine for that person that you are greeting, and not for other persons. That's what I understand, actually. So that person greet you, you don't immediately smile, you just slowly and then start. Just 1 second, maybe 1 or 2 seconds. It's like slowly and then slowly start to smile out. Right? Okay, so today we are going to continue from yesterday's video, part 5. Today is part 6. Yesterday we were talking about every, like, inside of everyone is a small baby in a crib, you know. And today we are talking about how to make someone feel like an old friend at once. Like, you just met that person, but immediately you make that person feel like an old friend. Let me start, okay? A very wise man with the funny name of Zig once told me, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them. Zig Ziglar is right. The secret to making people like you is showing how much you like them. Your body is a 24-hour broadcasting station revealing to everyone or anyone within eyeshot precisely how you feel at any given moment. Even if your hang by your teeth posture is gaining their respect, your flooding smile and the big baby pivot are making them feel special, and your sticky eyes are capturing their hearts and minds, the rest of your body can reveal any incongruence. Every inch from the crinkle of your forehead to the position of your feet must give a command performance if you want to effectively present an "I care about you" attitude. Unfortunately, when meeting someone, our brains are in overdrive. Remember Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. He said of Cassius, "He has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous." So it is with our brains when conversing with a new acquaintance, our brains become lean. Well, some of us are fighting off shyness, of course. Others are frantically sizing up the situation. And hungry. We are deciding what, if anything, we want from this potential relationship. We want something from it. So we think too much instead of responding with candid, unself-conscious friendliness. I should voice that out differently. It's like it should be like, so we think too much instead of responding with candid, unself-conscious friendliness. Such actions are dangerous to impending friendship, love, or commerce. When our bodies are shooting off 10,000 bullets of stimuli every second, a few shots are apt to misfire and reveal shyness or hidden hostility. We need a technique to ensure every shot aims right at the heart of our subjects. We need to trick our bodies into reacting perfectly, so we cannot show any weakness. To find it, let's explore the only time we don't need to worry about shyness or negativity slipping out through our body language. It is when we feel none. We feel none of that. That happens when we are chatting with close friends, when we see someone we love or feel completely comfortable with. We respond warmly from head to toe without a thought. That's true. When I meet my friends, it's like all of my thoughts are gone. I don't have any rationals. I'm just having fun. Our lips part happily. We step closer. Our arms reach out. Our eyes become soft and wide. Even our palms turn up and our bodies turn fully toward our dear friends. How to trick your body into doing everything right. Here's a visualization technique that accomplishes all that. It guarantees that everyone you encounter will feel your warmth. I called it "Hello, old friend." When meeting someone, play a mental trick on yourself. In your mind's eye, see him or her as an old friend, someone you had a wonderful relationship with years ago, but somehow you lost track of your friend. You tried so hard to find your good buddy, but there was no listing in the phone book. No information online. None of your mutual friends had a clue. Suddenly, wow! What a surprise! After all those years, the two of you are reunited. You are so happy. That is where the pretending stops. Obviously, you are not going to try to convince the new person that the two of you are really old friends. It's just a pretend, right? That person you just met a few seconds ago is not your old friend, but it's just a trick to trick your mind into thinking that that person is your old friend, so you start to feel comfortable to talk with him. You are not going to hug and kiss and say, "Great to see you again," Or how have you been all these years? You merely say, hello, how do you do? I am pleased to meet you. But inside it's a very different story. You'll amaze yourself. The delight of rediscovery fills your face and buoys up your body language. I sometimes jokingly say if you were a light, you would beam on the other person. If you were a dog, you'd be wagging your tail. You make this new person feel very special indeed. So this technique is called hello old friend. Hello old friend. When meeting someone, imagine he or she is an old friend, an old customer, an old beloved, or someone else you had great affection for. How sad the vicissitudes of life tore you to asunder. But holy mackerel! Now the party, the meeting, the convention has reunited you with your long lost old friend. That's happy. The joyful experience starts a remarkable chain reaction in your body, from the subconscious softening of your eyebrows to the positioning of your toes and everything between. So that is the technique. In my seminars, I first have people introduce themselves to another participants before they have learned the hello old friend technique. The group chats as though at a pleasant semi-formal gathering. Later, I asked them to introduce themselves to another stranger, imagining they are old friends. The difference is extraordinary. When they are using hello old friend, the room comes alive. The atmosphere is charged with good feeling. The air sparkles with happier, high energy people. They are standing closer, laughing more sincerely, and reaching out to one another. I feel like I'm attending a terrific bash that has been going on for hours. Not a word need be spoken. The hello old friend technique even supersedes language. Whenever you are traveling in countries where you don't speak the native tongue, be sure to use it. If you find yourself with a group of people who are all speaking a language unknown to you, just imagine them to be a group of your old friends. Everything is fine except they momentarily forgot how to speak English. In spite of the fact you won't understand a word, your whole body still responds with congeniality and acceptance. I have used the hello friend technique while traveling in Europe. Sometimes my English speaking friends who live there tell me their European colleagues say I am the friendliest American they have ever met. Yet we had never spoken a word between us. Yeah, like me when I meet people on Discord. Most of them don't speak my language, and somehow we are friends now. Yay! A self-fulfilling prophecy. An added benefit to the hello friend technique is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you act as though you like someone, you start to really like them. An Adelphi University study called Appropriately Believing Another Likes or Dislikes You, Behaviors Making the Beliefs Come True, proved it. Researchers told volunteers to treat unsuspecting subjects as though they liked them. When surveyed later, the results showed the volunteers wound up genuinely liking the subjects. The unsuspecting subjects were also surveyed. These respondents expressed much higher respect and affection for the volunteers who pretended they liked them. What it boils down to is love begets love. Like begets like. Respect begets respect. Use the hello old friend technique and you will soon have many new old friends who wind up genuinely liking you. You now have all the basics to come across to everyone you meet as a somebody. A friendly somebody. But your job isn't over yet. In addition to being liked, you want to appear credible, intelligent, and sure of yourself. Each of the next three techniques accomplishes one of these goals. What time is it? Still okay. So, the first one. How to come across as 100% credible to everyone. My friend Helen is a highly respected headhunter. She makes terrific hires for her clients, and I once asked her the secret of her success. Helen replied, "Probably because I can almost always tell when an applicant is lying." "How can you tell?" she said. "Well, just last week I was interviewing a young woman for a position as marketing director for a small firm. Throughout the interview, the applicant had been sitting with her left leg crossed over her right. Her hands were comfortably resting in her lap, and she was looking directly at me. I asked her salary without swerving her eyes from mine. She told me. I asked if she enjoyed her work. Still looking directly at me, she said, 'Yes!' Then I asked her why she left her previous job. At that point, her eyes fleetingly darted away before regaining eye contact with me," Helen continued. "Then, while answering my question, she shifted in her seat and crossed her right leg over her left. At one point, she put her hand up to her mouth," Helen said. "That's all I needed." With her words, she was telling me she felt her growth opportunities were limited at her previous firm, but her body told me she was not being entirely forthright. Helen went on to explain the young woman's fidgeting alone wouldn't prove she was lying. Nevertheless, it was enough. She said that she wanted to pursue the subject further. "So I tested it," Helen explained. "I changed the subject and went back to more neutral territory. I asked her about her goals for the future. Again, the girl stopped fidgeting. She folded her hands in her lap as she told me how she'd always wanted to work in a small company in order to have hands-on experience with more than one project. Then I repeated my earlier question. I asked again if it was only the lack of growth opportunity that made her leave her previous position. Sure enough, once again, the woman shifted in her seat and momentarily broke eye contact. As she continued talking about her last job, she started rubbing her forearm. Helen continued to probe until she finally uncovered the truth. The applicant had been fired because of a nasty disagreement with the marketing director for whom she worked. Human resources professionals who interview applicants and police officers who interrogate suspected criminals are trained to detect lies. They know specifically what signals to look for. The rest of us, although not knowledgeable about specific clues to deceit, have a sixth sense when someone is not telling us the truth. Just recently, a colleague of mine was considering hiring an in-house booking agent. After interviewing one fellow, she said to me, "I don't know. I don't really think he has the success he claims." "You think he's lying to you?" I asked. "Absolutely. And the funny thing is I can't tell why. He looked right at me. He answered all my questions directly. There was just something that didn't seem right." Employees often feel this way. They have a gut feeling about someone, but they cannot put their fingers on it. Because of that, many large companies turn to the polygraph or lie detector, a mechanical apparatus designed to detect if someone is lying. Banks, drugstores, and grocery stores rely heavily on it for pre-employment screening. The FBI, Justice Department, and most police departments have used the polygraph on suspects. Interestingly, the polygraph is not a lie detector at all. All the machine can do is detect fluctuations in our autonomic nervous system, changes in breathing patterns, sweating, flushing, heart rate, blood pressure, and other signs of emotional arousal. So is it accurate? Well, yes, often it is. Why? Because when the average person tells a lie, he or she is emotionally aroused and bodily changes do take place. When that happens, the individual might fidget. Experienced or trained lies, however, can fool the polygraph. Like suddenly when you are trying to lie, you look away from the person just for a bit, and then you start shaking a bit. Your heart rate is going high. You start sweating. You know. Beware of the appearance of lying, even when you are telling the truth. Problems arise for us when we are not lying but are feeling emotional or intimidated by the person with whom we are talking. A young man telling an attractive woman about his business success might shift his weight. A woman talking about her company's track record to an important client could rub her neck. More problems arise out of the atmosphere. A businessman who doesn't feel nervous at all could loosen his collar because the room is hot. A politician giving a speech outdoors could blink excessively because the air is dusty. Even though erroneous, these fidgety movements give the listeners the sense something just isn't right or gut feeling that the speaker is lying. Professional communicators, alert to this hazard, consciously squelch any signs anyone could make mistake for shiftiness. They fix a constant gaze on the listener. They never put their hands on their faces. They don't massage their arm when it tingles or rub their nose when it itches. They don't loosen their collar when it's hot or blink because it is sandy. They don't wipe away tiny perspiration beads in public or shield their eyes from the sun. They suffer because they know fidgeting undermines credibility. Consider the infamous September 25th, 1960 televised presidential debate between Richard Milhous Nixon and John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Political pundits speculate Nixon's lack of makeup, his fidgeting and mopping his brow on camera lost him the election. If you want to come across as an entirely credible somebody, try to squelch all extraneous movements when your communication counts. I call the technique limit the fidgets. So the technique limit the fidget. Well, whenever your conversation really counts, let your nose itch, your ear tingle, or your foot prickle. Do not fidget, twitch, wiggle, squirm, or scratch. And above all, keep your paws away from your purse. Hand motions near your face and all fidgeting can give your listener the gut feeling you are fibbing. Now let's tackle intelligence. What, you ask, can people come across as more intelligent than they really are? Well, did you ever hear of Hans, the counting horse? Hans was considered the most intelligent horse in history, and he used the technique I'm about to suggest. So the next one will be in the next video, but I want to talk a bit about this. So when you are actually talking about something and it is very important, that suddenly you are talking and then the sweat comes across your nose and you feel itchy. The moment you start to rub it off, people will think that you are lying. You are not actually telling the truth, and they will dislike you, losing the credibility. So that's what he said. Let it itch. Just hold it off. It's hard, but I have a bit of experience in this, and it does work. So I hope this helps everyone that is watching. Maybe 10 people that are watching this video. I hope it really helps you to become a successful person, especially in talking to people. Like me, I have problem with talking to people, so I need this book, and my father gave me this book. I hope it helps you, and I hope I am able to send this message and help everyone that is problem talking to people. It is a serious matter, in fact. So yeah, I think this is it for this video. And for the questioner, I hope your question is answered. Alright, see you later in the next episode. Ciao.